welcome back to the On the Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Fans will know why it's done on a Friday night. I will inform the guest as to why it's done on a Friday night, because Friday night is horror night. Um, if you don't know what that means, on a Friday night in Ireland back in the late 90s, early 2000s, we used to get our free to air horror movies on a Friday night at 10 o'clock. After the watershed broke, it's where we got to see some of the classics. It's where I got my very first scenes of Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. Perfect. So Friday night is horror night for us. Tonight, the boys again aren't here, unfortunately, but I am joined by another guest. Oh, look, there's a clown in the picture now. I am joined by another guest. It's not the clown, but it is the creator of MMH Productions, the writer, director, editor, actor in the latest movie to be made by this gentleman here, or in the process of being made. It is Mr. Matthew Mark Hunter. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Appreciate you reaching out to us and giving us the chance to have you on.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, anytime. And well, where else is it to start? But right at the top of the show, Nightmares Unleashed. Enlighten me.
Nightmares Unleashed is our feature film based on a short film I created back in 2018. It is a full-out original new idea. So Nightmares Unleashed is a style of film where young girls watching horror films on the TV, and our lead antagonist, Joseph the Jester, reaches into the real world and pulls her into the TV, and she has to escape all the movies she's watched for her nightmares. And the thing we're doing is to make it all brand new idea is every film she goes into is going to be a different subgenre of a horror film. So one scene is going to be slasher, one's 80s, one's sci-fi, one's going to be a musical horror. So everything she goes into will be a different feel of a film.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm sold. It's original. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Because all you're getting these days are remakes, reboots. Don't get me wrong, there are some new ones and there's some really good ones. But to get a full, proper, original idea, awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, the short film version won an award for best originality, so we really amped it full up with the feature film version.
When, oh my god, I can't even speak. You've broken me. The first guest I've had that's actually broken me. Fair play to you. So when are you hoping to start production or the processes of production?
We started pre-production for the feature around 2020. I started writing it. I got the script title and the script storyline copyrighted under my name in 2021. We started shooting November of 2022, and the rest of our schedule is filming all this summer. Nightmares Unleashed is going to be May, June, July, all filming dates for it. So we're going to get that going. We're still doing some costume work right now, but everything's just coming together.
Very nice, very nice. So if you've already started production, it means the cast is locked down. That'd be right?
All but one so far. We had casting closes on the 11th, and then it's just filling the extra parts and like side main characters, but all the leads are casted.
Very nice, very nice. I did actually see that on the website. There's some good cast members in there.
Yeah, we have a lot of different people who own businesses also in the area, which is also a good thing for us because we're shooting at 2 haunted houses for the film. Mohican Haunted Schoolhouse, and then Fremont's Haunted Hydro Dark Attraction. And the owner of the Dark Haunted Hydro is playing one of the leads, Anthony the Scientist. So both the haunted houses are like sponsors now for the film. So we're gonna put like their company in the beginning, and they're letting us film in the locations. We have our Azazel the Vampires, a tattoo artist who owns a tattoo studio and soon to be a production studio also. We have a pro wrestler who owns a wrestling company out in Ohio also, indie wrestling. Um, and then just like some of our props and costumes, they're all made by local businesses and local artists in the area also.
So it's going to be a community affair, really.
Yeah, a big community project in a sense.
That's awesome that they're willing to get behind things like that. Because obviously you hear sometimes, oh, I didn't like this movie being made. Like as far as I know, there's a lot of people that don't like the fact that Nightmare on Elm, or not Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th was filmed where it was filmed and things like that. And obviously the house from Elm Street, especially the house from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that family that own that now, obviously they own the house. It's been
Oh yeah.
50 odd years, but like it's an iconic house. So they have put big massive fences and stuff up. So it's great to see a community getting behind it.
Yeah, and then the end result, like the 200 houses for the area, it's going to help them also when people want to go to the 100 houses for the season. And then it's also reshot at, so it's giving them also, here's their public notice in the beginning of the film and end of the film, so they get the little shout out showing the business and things also.
Yeah, that's quality, and it's and fair play to the businesses as well, getting behind. Obviously, I don't know whether they've sponsored, as you said, they've sponsored you, whether they've done it financially or just helping you out with locations and things. But fair play to them because it's not often you see small towns and small businesses do things like this.
Yeah, it's all good friends and good community for what we have going for it so far.
So, when you're expecting to wrap, you said was it July or August?
Yeah.
And when are you hoping to
Um,
have it out?
I want to get it in festivals around the September, October area. Of course, if it doesn't get to that, I'm not gonna like push the editing of the film. I'd rather
Yeah,
take
no,
my time and make it better, but my main goal is to have it out by September, October for some festivals in the area and around other places just to get the thing out there. Because while we're shooting the first one, I know the end scene at the haunted house and then the beginning scene, we're actually going to be shooting things for the sequel while we're shooting things for the first one now. So even if it's like not a huge thing for a project, I still want to create the sequel that never got made the first time, and then I'll just be happy to have my childhood project fully complete.
so it's a personal goal for you now. It's happening.
Yeah, and even if we don't hit like our main budget, I mean, so far all the money I've spent has just come out of my own pocket, so it's a way for us. I'm doing the campaign just to get some of the money back in a sense, and then get other people involved in the project, but every little bit helps.
Absolutely. And like for horror fans, supporting indie horror is majorly important. Because it's all great seeing these big budget horrors that people run out to throw their money into the cinema. But like they've made their money. They don't care. Well, they do care, but they don't necessarily care if you go and see it or not. Where 20 different people going to see this movie makes a big difference for you.
Yeah, I mean, even a little bit of people seeing it because you have all the Hollywood films, millions of dollars, and then we're just asking for like a couple thousand just to get hotel stays and things for the cast and crew, so it's easier on my end and that in the long end. So it's just getting people who like original ideas also for horror films, because some people do complain about either remakes or fan films, even though they're all great. But we're trying to bring something forward to a whole new creativity of horror.
That's me all over. I complain about most remakes. Now, one of our other co-hosts, the King, Carl, he detests remakes. Detests. If you put the word remake beside it or reboot beside it, he'll watch it, but he's not gonna be happy about it. Like I've only recently convinced him to watch the 2014 Evil Dead.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah,
how bad it is.
we're calling this a revamp then for the project. Just bring in the short to feature.
Well, I don't even know if it's a revamp. It's just going from short to feature, really, isn't it?
Yeah, because I did the short film when I was still in high school. So after graduation from high school and college, I mean, it's just, I have, I know what I'm doing more now. I have 4 more years of experience under my belt for filmmaking, so I know more things. I know mistakes I learned from the short one. So I'm applying all of that to the feature film so it can be the best it can be. And of course, higher equipment than what we had back then also.
Yeah, well, that's a given. 4 years of technology growth is always going to make things better. Might make things more expensive, but it's going to make it
Yeah.
better. Like that's the difference of shooting on, say, an 8mm camera to a 50mm camera. I have no idea about cameras, but you know what I mean. Shooting on a HD camera, but in terms of going from short to feature, how much more did you have to put into the script?
The short film was about maybe 15 to 20 pages, I'd say. The feature film has reached 70 pages of script. So we have some of the same monsters and creatures from the original, just the character itself coming back. Um, so like the scientists we're having come back for the scene. We're bringing back the main jester, the vampire scene, just making it a lot better. We added in a scarecrow with the cult members called the Cult of the Scarecrow scene. We added in a fisherman killer, which is going to be our slasher segment. Um, we added, of course, 200 houses because in the original we only shot in actual houses. We didn't have real locations. We were filming in houses for the most part. Um, we're amping up the locations in general too for the vampire scene where we're trying to find an actual ballroom instead of a little practice hall. Um, but the script wise, we wrote two different endings, one at the haunted house and one was at a small little amusement park carnival nearby that was like run down a bit. But when we had the haunted house come up and when they allowed us to film in there, just to film in there for the sponsorship credit, I mean, it was a done deal deciding what ending we're going to go for. Um, but I mean, overall, it's going to be a full out getting the script completed because we're adding new characters, a whole new storyline where before it was just Raven and the TV and the monsters for 15 minutes. We have a second character who's helping her go through all the things as well. So it's a more dynamic duo idea.
Very nice, very nice. So you're going kind of all out there, playing off. I know what you did last summer with the fisherman killer. Actually,
Yeah.
while I have you there, do you have that person cast yet?
The Fisherman Killer, yeah, we have my uncle who's gonna be the Fisherman Killer when we see like the face and some of the movements. And then the guy who's the pro wrestler is gonna be the stunt version of the stunt man doing lifting up Raven and some action scenes as well because the original Fisherman Killer has not the greatest back. So
No.
we have the guy who owns the pro wrestling area coming out to be the other Fisherman Killer, but we already have him as a more character in the sequel we have planned also, so which is why we said we can have you as a stunt guy now because he does stunts on the side also, and then we'll bring him back in the second as a more shown part. But yeah, it's
I
gonna
was
be
gonna
John
say.
Cataline, who's known as the bouncer at Real Action Pro Wrestling.
Oh, nice, nice. Actually, he just popped up on my Insta.
Oh wow.
I'd say it's because obviously I've started following yourselves. Funny that you mentioned the fisherman scene. I was going to say that's why I asked you how you got a cast. Friend of the show, Jim Canatelli, done a great fisherman Sam in the movie Slaughter Beach. If you were looking for one,
Oh
but obviously, shout out to the lads there from Slaughter Beach, Jim and Dan and Brett. What's up, boys?
hmm.
Um, but that's a different show. Um, but yeah, it's funny now that you look back on people using fisherman killers. Obviously, just that you brought that up because obviously I'd done the show with Slaughter Beach and the lads a couple of weeks ago. Uh, Obviously they had a killer fisherman Sam. yourself has just said it now, and for a long time you didn't see it a lot after sort of I Know What You Did Last Summer. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
we
kind of on the comeback now.
yeah when we the A Full Idea did come a little bit for like the look from I Know We Did Last Summer, um, but he's gonna have like harpoons he uses as weapons. He has fishing lures that are actually fingers, and his fishing pole is made out of real deer bones, also connecting for like the rod part leading up to where he casts the line and he gets the hook in like people's mouths to reel them into them.
Um, what film was that? Something About Mary.
We saw that we watched Blood Hook also from Trauma, had a fisherman killer in it too.
I haven't seen that one now. I think it's Something About Mary when Ben Stiller gets caught with the hook.
Uh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's always a cringe-worthy scene. I always like we've brought it up quite a few times. In horror movies, like you see people getting beheaded, you see people getting run over and stuff, or not run over, but you see people getting mauled, shot, blown up. Those kind of things don't really bother me. It's the everyday things that could happen. Like standing on a nail, catching your
Oh
hand in the
yeah.
door. So even the fisher, like if you fish, you could easily get that hook stuck somewhere. So like that'd be another one. I went fishing once in my life and I went through my finger. So I was like, nope, I'm out. I'm done. I'll just sit and drink beers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very creative character in terms of using a fisherman because so many of the fishing weapons designed to obviously kill fish, you easily could adapt that to maul humans.
Oh yeah.
Like the gaff hook, we've seen that with Mutilator, very famously in the 80s, and things like that. You've got the harpoon gun, which could kill anybody.
Yeah.
Even as it says, fishing hooks, they hurt like a motherfucker.
Oh god, they do.
Like even the fishing line, you've seen that being used in films to either catch people on a bike or like you can strangle people with it and things. So it's like
It's a-
it's not out of the ordinary to have all those things in your house if you're a fishing person.
oh yeah, for sure. Easy
Maybe
kill.
maybe not the harpoon,
Yeah.
um, but I suppose if you're a deep sea spearfisher or something, you probably would. But like, I love what you were saying there with the idea of changing through all subgenres. Like, that's nearly unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, the first one it wasn't too seen, but for the new one we're really going all out. So we're actually having two songs written and we're gonna actually write the lyrics for the musical part. So two brand new original like musical numbers going to be in the film for the Vampire Masquerade scene. The scientist sci-fi scene was originally going to be like black and white, like film noir style. But when we got
Nice.
to but when we got to filming in the haunted house, there was like black lights involved. There was it was just so colorful that we decided to scrap the black and white and just do like full sci-fi colored because it was just too much like beautiful color in the scene to make it all dimmed with black and white.
I can understand that. Um, like obviously black and white films take a lot. Like Schindler's List was brilliant and it had just specks of colors. Sin City was very good for it, but it doesn't always have to. It doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Like if you're shooting in a place that's bright and colorful, black and white's just gonna look terrible in there.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, it was even with like the black lights also because we see that in the shot too. I mean, the reflectiveness on the potions and bottles of the black light, just the glowing effect was too good not to have it not in color.
Yeah. Um, like as I said, Schindler's List was probably the first big one that went black and white and had the red in it. Well, the first one that I can really remember. So, like, I think the use of color, especially in the science lab, because like having been in school doing chemistry and stuff, like the chemicals are all different colors.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you could have green. I don't think you didn't see many green chemicals, but I'm sure there actually are.
Yeah, we had
Um,
a wider range of different like food coloring in different bottles for it.
like even a movie I watched there not so long ago. I rewatched. I don't know whether you've ever seen Michael Bay's The Rock.
No,
No, where the terrorists take over Alcatraz.
I've never seen that.
No, Nick Cage, Sean Connery, brilliant, brilliant movie. But there's a scene they have so they have like poison gas rockets, but they have like a luminous green VX gas in it,
Oh,
and it just looks savage. Because obviously everything in Alcatraz is grey and dark,
yeah.
and then they have like the green, like a luminous green VX gas, and you're like deadly. Um, but like, so you said you're going through subgenres. So what kind of subgenres have we got lined up?
Um,
And
we have
this is where you're gonna hook me or lose me here.
our Scarecrow with the cult is an 80s style. So original idea was I was gonna film my old VHS camcorder for the scene because the rest of the film is shot in 4K Blackmagic. So it'd been like a huge jump for the original VHS camcorder style. We had to put the tape into the VCR and edit that way, which we've done in other projects. Um, so we're gonna see about filming with that and also with the Blackmagic. And if it's too hard to figure out to make it actually look good, we'll probably do some post-production effects, of course. But the main goal is to make it look as 80s style as it is. Um, We have the Witches and Zombies, which is like a classic um, Night of the Living Dead in a sense. Not Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, Night of the Living Dead. For the zombie scenes. Um, we're not having like too many zombies. It's gonna be like three zombies and our lead zombie, who's a worm zombie. And when she gets stuck in one part, we see the worm zombie start to rip his face off. And when he reveals the inside of the face, that's where all the worms are gonna start falling off of him and onto Raven with our two
Okay.
witches. We have a killer tree in that segment also, so we have a giant tree costume we're working on right now for that. After that is the Vampire Masquerade, which of course is the musical segment, which we're waiting on that for the composer to wrap up. And then we're going to write the lyrics for that and cast our final music lead. And then we jump to the Mad Scientist Lab for the sci-fi segment. And then it's the witches, then the scientists, then the Masquerade Ball musical. Then after that's the Fisherman Killer slasher scene. And after that is her final involvement at the haunted house, where she has to go through all the monsters one last time to get to the end. But they're all different. One of our Missy the Spider Mistress at the Masquerade. She has like the 8 eyes, long dress. Um, the scientist and her work together in the one part, so we see him inject something. Next time we see Missy, she's a giant spider mutant coming towards Raven in a full spider outfit we have made, we're working on still. So then that scene is like the full ending of everything coming together, and then she leaves back into the real world, and then we're not going to spoil it too much about how the sequel unfolds.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
Then-
just a lot going on overall, but we're going to make it where it's good.
So even then, like you're saying, subgenres, you didn't mention creature feature, but then you have a big giant spider which fits right in there, so it's perfect. I'm sold,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the way you spoke about it when the lads actually get a chance to listen back to this, I'm sure they'd be hooked on it, especially because we've been baying for new horror movies with new ideas for a while.
And even like we're doing like a full prosthetic for the spider. The scarecrow we had an original mask created. So it's a full scarecrow mask we had handcrafted and made for the film.
Jesus.
We have like the costumes going to be created. So like the jester's outfit is all hand sewn together throughout the whole costume. So everything's coming together. So it looks not everything like you can't store buy a lot of the stuff for the film is what we're trying to aim at for. But some stuff, of course, we like the costume she wears. The Victorian era gowns are all going to be store bought. Big budget wise, but it's going to look great. But some of the monsters are going to be kept more original, so we can actually, here's our original monsters. You can't get the stuff anywhere else, which is why like Azazel has a mask, and we're actually giving that away on our Indiegogo, one of one. You get the same one from the film type of thing. So it's a lot of like on-screen perks we're giving away also.
Very nice, very nice. So just tell us a little bit about the Indiegogo.
The Indiegogo is under Nightmares Unleashed. We're trying to get 10,000 for the full film, which is going to be just money for like the housing, paying some things, post-production. So far, the costumes, I'm not even done yet, have ranged $2,000 alone. The Scarecrow costume, Scarecrow mask, and the stilts alone was $800 for that's one of the characters out of
Well,
a range of characters.
that mask is badass though.
Yeah, oh yeah, and then we have a second mask too for him. But like Joseph the Jester's around the $100 range so far. The Masquerade scene is around 600 so far, and that's just all like coming out of my own pocket. So the Indiegogo's gonna help me refund some of that, because right now it's get the paycheck, let's get some more Nightmares Unleashed stuff as we get closer to it. But we have over 40 perks available for everyone. A lot of on-screen props. You have this. We're having the Scarecrow hat also for on the Indiegogo, and it comes with the Scarecrow's chalice in the scene also for the
That's
cult
awesome.
members.
That is
Azazil's,
fucking awesome.
Azazil's mask, Misty serving tray, Anthony the Scientist's eyeball is up for grabs. A lot of one-for-ones. Then we have like thank you credits, videos sent to you. Our big one is the $2,500, and there's only two available, but it's the co-sponsor of the Nightmare. So you pay the $2,500, you become a sponsor of the project. Your name or company will be on every single DVD and poster we make when the film comes out for eternity. You get a bunch of other stuff. Someone's making a toy right now for us. We have up there vinyl, CDs, DVDs, VHS, um, shirts, posters galore, lots of stuff, scripts. I mean, there's so much going on that.
Awesome. So a bit of everything really.
Yeah, and we're really hoping to get out there because it's already been over 10 days in Indiegogo, and we only raised $235. So we're really, it's not aiming too well so far, but we're always hoping that something will happen eventually.
I've found with a lot of the guests that I've had on that have done Indigos before I started getting guests for the show, before we started getting guests for the show, sorry, knew nothing about Indiegogo, never heard of it before. Didn't know where the money came from movies. I thought it came from like a film board or something. So having heard more and more about Indiegogo, I found what I've seen is a lot of the major input comes right towards the end of it.
Yeah, a lot of that too. That's
How
what
long?
we're hoping for.
Yeah. How long is left on yours, as of now, which is what 4th of March.
I think 50-ish maybe days. So I'd have to see.
Say 50 plus days.
Okay, we'll say 50. 45 days. 45 days.
So 45 days. And like, anyone that watches this show knows that we're real big on indie. Like as I says, I had the lads from Slaughter Beach. I've had a lot of the cast from Mutilator 2, Mutilator 1. Do you know what I mean? Like the list goes on for what we've had. So we're real supportive of indie horror anyway. So we when you reached out when the show or the film reached out to us, we were like absolutely, yeah, 100%. Like we'll get behind it. We do as much as we can for you as well. We'll throw it out there and we'll reshare everything and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, that'd be very helpful. Like we even have like cult member outfits, cult daggers. I mean, there's so much like screen use props were given away for it.
Yeah, like as it says, it's indie horror is where a lot of the great actors and actors have started. So we really need to kind of support indie horror. Like obviously horror in Ireland isn't as big as it would be in the States, but to be able to go and watch these movies come out now, and as it says, it's come up quite regularly as of late. Sorry, where we've seen indie horrors get to the cinema and do well.
Yeah, recently it's been doing well for that.
So obviously, Smile was I think the biggest, which boxed over 100 million. Um, but I'm not sure what their budget was. I know they were an indie movie, but obviously the biggest one was the one that ran against Halloween, which was Terrifier 2,
Yeah.
and absolutely fucking smoked it. So, like, are you expecting or hoping for a theater release? Are you straight to DVD, straight to streaming?
Uh, we're hoping for
What are
the
you hoping for?
film festivals, convention appearances for it, local theaters, of course, theaters in states nearby that we can actually go to. I can actually go to, and then it'll be all DVD release and streaming services eventually.
So the likes of Shudder or Tubi or someone like that.
Yeah, probably Tubi and Troma now.
Yeah, but like, this is you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all well and good making this movie and someone going, okay, yeah, let's fire that into the cinema and it doesn't do well, say right. Then all of a sudden you look, oh well, he made a balls of that. But when you started small, the way you're doing it, going into the festivals, going to the local cinemas, that's how you build the name up of the movie. This person seen it, he tells that person to watch it, that person spreads it around. Do you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like we've seen a lot of those. So like one of the big ones for me that went like that was Neil Marshall's Dog Soldiers. I don't know
I
whether
haven't seen
you've
that
seen
one.
it. Have you? You haven't
No.
seen it? That's gonna ruin the end of this question then. But Neil Marshall's first film was Dog Soldiers, and it's widely regarded now as one of the top three werewolf movies.
Okay.
In that kind of way. So like, it never broke big in the states until the last few years, but it always had that cult following. So like, even if you got to a cult following, you know people are going to continue to watch it and continue to watch it
Yeah, I
and
mean,
get their
Call
friends to
Following
watch
would
it.
probably be the best to get for, and then when we're ready to release the second one, hopefully that Indiegogo does even better once people see the first one too.
Again, there you go. Same thing Terrifier did. It got a cult following for the first one, and then when the second one got announced, it just exploded.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So like, you've got to build the foundations to get it to work as well. So as important as it is for indie horror, it's important for you to get the film right before going, well, I'm not rushing it out into this just to make it into this festival. There's always going to be another festival somewhere down the line.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like if you said about October,
which is what.
do you know what I mean? Like imagine you rushing that to get it in October and them going, nah, it's not good enough to be in it. Do you know what I mean? Where if you
Yeah,
held on, say, till December or October or January, February, and went, there you go, now it's perfect. I think I think one of the biggest ones we've seen with that was Paranormal Activity done it. It delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed until it was ready to go, properly ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes time works, but I've no doubt that this is like from the sounds of the story, the ideas, the creation of characters. I've no doubt that this is going to be a very, very fun movie to watch.
that's what we're hoping for. We're doing two cuts of it also for different like festivals. So one's gonna be so the like the fisherman scene's like our slasher thing. So there's gonna be nudity of boobs in the one scene. So we're doing a
Woohoo!
cut
Boobs!
with nudity and a cut when she's in a bikini. So different festivals can get either the R-rated one or the not so R-rated version, so we can get it out in different places too, also for different audiences.
I mean, I get that. I get that. You know how some places can be. But
Yeah,
let's be fair. If you're watching horror movies, seeing someone's boobs probably aren't the isn't the worst thing you're gonna see in a 90-minute film or so.
yeah,
So that kind of way. Um, but like these shows, normally I've seen the film. Normally, obviously, I can't see this one because it's not done yet. Um, so I can't even say, well, we normally rate them or this, that, and the other. But by the sounds of the passion you have towards the movie, the ideas you've thrown out here, and like when you're funding most of it yourself as well, it's obviously going to give you more of a will to make it succeed.
yeah. I mean, it's I've been working on the pre-production for over 2 years now, so it's no matter what happens with Indiegogo, I'm creating it no matter what. In the
It's,
long end, it's gonna happen.
it's gotta happen.
It won't be
Um,
as great, but it will happen.
still gonna be, it's still gonna be awesome. I'm still gonna watch it. You get at least one view. This guy. Um, but before we start to wind down, is there anything else you want to pop out about this?
Um, Support the Indiegogo if you can. Share it. That's like the biggest thing we're asking, to share it out there. Um, on the Indiegogo and on my YouTube channel, MMH Productions, you can watch the short film version now. A director's commentary of the short version, the bloopers behind the scenes of the short film version, all on my YouTube channel, MMH Productions. There's promo videos, of course, for the new one out on there also. Um, Other content. We've created over 200 horror films since 2017, so we have lots of content out in the world to view also. So it's going to be a great while wide. So check out Nightmares Unleashed, MMH Productions on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Thanks to Steve Strout from the Crypt and Steve show also for helping us out again, and everyone in the cast and crew.
Big shout out to Steve. He was the one that actually got in touch with us.
And thank you also
um,
for having me on and accepting it, because a lot of people haven't even responded back. So
absolutely. I listen. If you took the time to reach out to me, I'm 100% gonna have you on. Did I? Like I know how hard it is. Like I do most of the work for all the guests on the show. The lads all do their part. I do mine. You know, that kind of way. So I know what it's like to try and get guests on, but especially like I don't know what it's like for yourself, but reaching out and not have someone get back, like all they have to do is say no, I'm sorry, it's not for
yeah,
me. You know what I mean? Like as it says, I missed I didn't see the email for 10 days, 12 days, but here we are, and I got to rush on the episode as quick as we could when you were free and I was free to do it. Do you know that kind of way? So like I'm more than appreciative for you reaching out.
oh yeah,
Um,
thank you.
and as it says, we'll share everything that we can for you. And of course, then when the movie comes out, we'll have you back on to have a chat and let you know what we thought of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Be
Now,
sweet.
now just to let you know, I'm extremely blunt when I'm watching when I do those. Uh, So if I don't like it, I'll pretty much tell you straight out.
Works for me. Good feedback.
But so one or two more questions then before I go. Where are you hoping to market it? Obviously, you said it's gone to the festival, but like, if someone was to buy it on DVD, would it be straight from you? Would it be from a company?
Um, a lot of the movies I made so far on DVD, I do all the distribution myself. So I'll go to conventions here and there everywhere. The films I have available on DVD, people email me, and then tell them my PayPal information or Cash App, things like that, or they can buy it off eBay. I put the films on there. So everything comes from me because I make the DVDs myself. I make the disc covers. I make the actual labels for the DVDs. I make the DVD menus myself. The whole post-production process goes through me. The distribution goes through me, so I don't gotta go through any second-hand areas. So all the money we raise from the DVDs go right back into other projects.
The right way to do it. Reinvesting.
Yeah.
Well, that answered everything then. I was going to say, so have you got a producer or a distributor in mind? But obviously, if you're doing it, that took away the second question, which will leave us at the end of our show for this evening. Um, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on. I know we quick snapped it in,
Yeah, it was a
and whatnot.
quick moment for it.
I mean, it could be worse. I could have said, yeah, and we do it 6 weeks down the line, the Indiegogo is over.
Yeah, I know.
So, but yeah, I want to just thank you for taking the time out to come on to let us have the opportunity to hear about the movie and whatnot. And obviously, we can't wait to get you back then once it's made and
All right.
we get an L viewing of Nightmares Unleashed.
And then for
Um,
the comeback, I try to bring some cast and crew also for it.
that would work too. That would work too. We'd have a full house. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Um, but for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, I will finish this the way I finish absolutely everything else. In the words of the great George A. Romero, ladies and gentlemen, stay scared.
On the Slab Horror Show.